Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to use an if-then function to recode your value or your variables. And I thought to use a very simple data set to try and illustrate this. Okay, so right here I have said extremely simple data set where we just have two variables. Okay, one is a random ID of between 0 and 1, and actually that shouldn't even be like that. Let's change this. So this is now some another sneak peek into how I come up with these random values for your data set. But we want this ID to be between 199 because we want to, or 999 because we want a 3-digit value that's between 100 and 1,000. So now we have these random numbers, and I don't want them to change every time I click somewhere. So we're going to select them all, copy and paste so that we could just get the values. So now they'll stay still. And what I've already done, this other variable is birth state. So let's imagine we took a survey, or we ran a survey with 17 people who took the survey, and we collected the state that they were born in. And right now it's got Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, Tennessee, like a bunch of nearby states to Kentucky. And let's say instead of having all of these as part of the nominal variable that is birth state, say we wanted to recode this into people who were born in Kentucky versus people who were born outside of Kentucky. This might be important for somebody like university admissions who might be concerned with people born in state versus out of state. Okay? So the first thing that we'll do is we'll create a new column for this variable that we're going to make. And we could either make it right here, or we could squeeze it in between columns A and B. I'm going to show you how to squeeze it in between columns A and B by just right-clicking on B, hitting insert. Okay, and we'll give this variable a name. Let's say in Kentucky, NKY. How about that? With a question mark. And what we're going to do is, instead of going through each of them and going one for in Kentucky, 0 for not in Kentucky, and saying 1, 1, and 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. Like, we could do that easily when we have 17 data points, but if there were 17,000 data points, we might not want to do that. That would really turn us off from data analytics. So there is a faster way to do this with Excel functions, and I'm going to make another column to show you that using this if function is the exact same as if we did it by hand, but faster. So we'll do NKY if function. Let's make it so that you can read that title. And what we're interested in is we want a function that can read the values over here and tell us that if it is KY, give us a 1, and if it's not KY, give us a 0. Okay, so if this cell over here is KY, then put 1 right here, and if it's not, put 0 right here. That function looks like this: equal sign, if, open parentheses. Our logical test that shows up here is we want to know whether this cell, is equal to the value KY. And when you're looking at strings of text instead of strings of numbers, you want to make sure to throw those quotations around the text, because otherwise Excel will think you're putting in another formula. But we're interested in actually the text KY. And if it includes that, we can put our comma, then give us a 1. If not, give us 0. Close your parentheses, and now we have a 1. And in order to copy that all the way down, we can either click and drag at the bottom right corner of this cell, or we can double click on the bottom right corner. Okay, so we can click and drag. I'll undo that, or we can double click. And we see that these values are the exact same as the hand-coded values that we had by hand. And that's how you do an if-then function. So the key is that, you want to make sure that first of all, your logic is correct. So the logical test makes sense. If we couldn't say, for instance, if D2 equals Kentucky, spelled out, because nothing over there is equal to that. And then if we had the rest of this function the exact same, it would give us zeros when there were people who were actually born in Kentucky. Now we have zeros throughout this whole data set because our logic was faulty. Okay, but instead of Kentucky, we want KY. And if we were interested in coding it in something other than numbers, we could put in state. Remember, I'm using text here, so I'm using these quotations. We could put out of state in quotations because it's text. And now we see, okay, this is in state, out of state, out of state. So everywhere we see a 0 or 1 over here, we should see the words in state over here. We see a 0 over here, we should see out of state over here. And we do. It's the same as if we did it by hand. Okay? And that's how you do an if-then function. It's pretty simple. You might need it for your assignment. Actually, you will need it for your assignment, but you might need it for your projects. So I thought this would help. Okay? Enjoy.